Welcome back. This is Corporate Radar. NTPC and NLC India are in focus as the government has allowed both to invest in renewable space in a big way. We are now joined by Shalu Agrawal, Director of Programs at Council on Energy, Environment and Water. We have Nikhil Nigania, Director, Senior Analyst at Bernstein. Mr. Anil Razdan is Chairman, Energy and Environment Foundation. And, of course, he's also the former Power Secretary, Government of India. Thanks very much, Shalu and gentlemen, for joining us here on the program. You know, this kind of, we can talk about specific companies and maybe Nikhil can address this, but fundamentally, this state-directed push for asking PSU companies, government-owned companies to go into renewables in a big way. I mean, many are doing it in any case. Is that correct? Or do you think it could lead to excesses? Mr. Razdan, you go first.
I think it is the right policy advice because we had in any case committed in Paris that we will have 50% of our installed capacity from non-fossil sources. Our demand for energy is increasing. The climate is getting worse. We are seeing much more unpredictable weather. So I think it is a step in the right direction. But while we are going for renewables, we need to push hard for storage also. Because this being intermittent energy, we need a stable system. And now with EVs also coming in a larger way, I frankly expect even the oil marketing companies to be moving into the space because they want business and they're in the business of energy. And if energy is undergoing a shift in a particular direction, then these companies have to be agile and move forward. Yes, production methodologies differ. You can have that kind of expertise. Companies can always hire that kind of expertise, but they must move with the times, if not ahead of the times. Because the problem is not only going to be installation, finding capital for it, but also management. And particularly when you have renewable energy, which is intermittent, weather-related, climate-related, you have to have a battery backup.
No, absolutely. So that point is...
Yet we're doing enough.
Absolutely. So, no, that point is well taken. I mean, the world is moving towards renewables. But the reason why this question becomes very pertinent is that a lot of these state enterprises, they're listed companies, they have shareholders. So then the ROI on this kind of investment also needs to be mapped in. So let me quickly throw this to Nikhil. Nikhil, the numbers are getting bigger and bigger. I mean, just yesterday, I think in the cabinet meeting, an additional 20,000 crores was cleared for NTPC to invest in NTPC renewables. NLC India is being told to put almost 7,500 crores to work on the renewable side. Likewise, ONGC, the oil companies as well. Now, from a shareholder perspective, how should you read into this? Is this going to be very long-term gestation in terms of investments? What about the ROI? How do I look at it as a shareholder of these companies?
Sure. See, I think firstly, the reason why they are doing it, I think two fundamental reasons, as Mr. Anil Razdan also shared. The world is moving towards electricity. So as they say, electricity is the new oil or the age of electricity, as even the IEA talks about it. So electricity is growing faster than energy demand. And the second reason is renewables, which will be the larger contributor of the incremental energy needs, electricity needs, is very capex intensive. So hence, not just utilities like NTPC, but even oil marketing companies are being pushed in that direction. Now coming to the shareholder perspective, so if you talk about returns, at least I can talk from NTPC perspective, which we cover. So renewable projects tend to make equity IRRs in the range of 13-14% typically, or if a complex project, it could be higher, depending on the situation. But that is the growth area. So if you compare it to overall returns, which an NTPC makes, right now is 13% ROE. So it's not return dilutive per se. The return should sustain, but the growth is there. So investors will take it positively as far as NTPC is concerned, and even the subsidiary NTPC Green is concerned. Definitely a positive development, given the capital needed to reach their 60 gigawatt aspiration by 2032.
We talk about industrial policy, right? Making a comeback across the world. Industrial policy right here. Shalu, your thoughts?
Well, I echo, what's been said before me, and I would just supplement it by saying that if you look at NGEL's financials, it's a AAA rating company, it's profitable. So it's not like, the fact is all these decisions are being driven by economics. And, solar along with storage at 90% availability, these plants are already cheaper than any new coal power plant that NTPC can think of building by at least ₹1 per unit. That's a huge margin. So that's a reason why I think this decision has to be seen in the context of where the entire sector is moving. It's not just India, it's the entire world. And I would also say that the decision to expand ability for NTPC to invest, it's giving them more flex. It's not directive to them per se that you must invest this much, because what we have seen over the past, NTPC is also playing the role of market shaper. A lot of prices that NTPC bids have discovered have set the benchmark for the subsequent prices going forward. So I think this decision will help accelerate market making in the clean power sector in the country. And in fact, as per CEEW's research, where we simulated entire grid for the country for 2030, our research suggests that a higher renewable portfolio in the entire energy grid will help the country deliver more reliable, more affordable, and cleaner power to the people. And of course, this doesn't even count avoiding air pollution, more jobs that can be created, distributed across different parts of the country. So overall, we are moving in the right direction.
The only thing is, absolutely, and I completely agree with it, right? I mean, we've got to do it even if the current president of the United States is calling coal big and beautiful. I think renewable is the future, I think, as all of us agree. But it's just the mix, right? What about nuclear? I mean, just to throw that in the mix. India perhaps is one of the few countries building reactors. There are other countries which are coming around. That's clean fuel. I mean, it's just about the mix. I mean, what is needed to achieve this very large base load which India, the demand will generate, will need. Mr. Razdan, just quick closing thoughts, sir?
Yes, there is already a lot of movement on SMRs, the small reactors, which of course were large, considered reasonably large at some point of time. You need steady baseload power for any system. This is an area that we've got to work on strongly, and we are hopeful that the private sector will also be able to play a significant part in the new renewable scenario. They may be more salt also, but I think the placement of these nuclear reactors will have to undergo the same kind of rigorous profiling and tests, which has been traditional. We've had an excellent safety record, so there's nothing to fear on that count. But we have to move with a strong, reliable base load, and renewables must move with storage. You cannot have intermittent power supply without storage facilities. Otherwise,
absolutely,
you have fluttering heartbeats all the time in the power distribution system. The transmission lines will have to come up. And India, in any case, you see, we have a land constraint also.
Yes.
And I think in that sense, there may be some limit to renewables unless we start marrying construction techniques, architectural requirements,
yes,
etc., to a lot of renewable generation placement in our building architecture, also long roads,
yes,
etc. So
absolutely,
I think it is all in the right direction. And you talked about the boost to NTPC to invest and NLC. I think it is timely because of late, because of the fall in the prices of solar energy, private sector investment was waning a bit. So we do not want this momentum to come down. So I think it is a step in the right direction that the government has given a direction.
Yes.
I still remember when I was the Joint Secretary in the Power Ministry, NTPC had stepped into hydro.
Yes.
And ironically, the name of the project also was Coal Dam in Himachal Pradesh. But NTPC has come a long way from that and from hydro, where sites are reasonably limited and you need a lot of particular domain experience, expertise. They're moving into solar, and hopefully in times to come when wind energy efficiencies improve, and we are able to more finely tune our locations and the heights at which we need to locate these installations.
But timely intervention, timely push from the government. I think that's the consensus here. Mr. Razdan, Shalu, Nikhil, thank you very much. Short conversation. We'll hope that you guys will come back maybe for a longer chat, because this does need a longer chat. And maybe it's a sort of a continued theme, a story which is play out over the next many years as both private and, of course, the public sector, as we just heard, helps in the build out of the renewable infrastructure, wind, solar, and, of course, I mean, if you want to call nuclear, of course, it's clean, but power as well. So a fair bit happening there.